and the way you have tried to figure out on the different aspects of peace, of leadership, of education. All these aspects are really important when we think of building up an institution, building up strategies, and establishing notions of how to disseminate this kind of education leadership among the students. And as we all have been discussing during these days about leadership, about peace, it is very important that when we talk in terms of leaders, we all know that who is a good leader. Theoretically, we have read a lot, but the true leaders are one who are good decision makers. They can perhaps see the situation, they can see what the demands of the time really are, they can see as to whom they are interacting to, they can see to the resources that are available, and accordingly the decisions that they make have a long-lasting impact on the way strategies and things are formulated. Then the leaders, they are ready to face challenges. As Professor P.K. Dashura yesterday very rightly said, someone had a question there in our chat box that regarding the change, what modalities, what things that we perceive we need to change, and are we really ready for that change? So he said, one who cannot change with the changing times will perish. So this is very important. A leader should always be prepared to face challenges and for taking up timely actions. Then creativity is one important aspect. There may be conflicting situations, there may be challenges, but it is up to the leader as to how the leader takes up the things, how creatively he puts things and gets the team into the objective that is set forth, whether it is peace building, whether it is education, whether it is any frontier of management or life skills. Then motivation, a very important factor for sure, that has to be at the crux, that a leader who cannot motivate his team cannot think of long-term goals. A team is doomed to failure. A team cannot work if the leader is not a motivator, because ultimately it is the leader and the motivation, the way he inspires, that he gets things working. So in order to set the group on the working front, it is very important that this quality should be one of the important factors that every leader who comes up and wants his team or the group to perform a particular task or reach the objective has to be well versed with, not only in theory, but also in practical day-to-day life. Ambition is one another aspect that has to be taken into consideration, because without ambition, we cannot envisage goals. We cannot foresee the future. We cannot be a visionary. So a person who is a visionary, who has an ambition related to that particular aspect, can only lead the groups. So this is very important. Along with that, it goes the vision and the strategy. It is very important that we plan out things. We have many ideas. We conceive notions. We build up good strategies also. But until and unless that strategy comes to be workable, the leadership is doomed to be a failure. This is very important, that when we are talking in terms of leadership qualities, all these aspects are very important, that a person who strives to be the leader or who strives to be at the helm of the affairs, that person has to imbibe, has to inculcate, has to develop, has to foresee to all these qualities that make him a true leader. And then along with this, as we have been discussing, the very important aspect is peace. So we need to know as to what are the elements of peace. Peace is not just a simple one-word concept. It has different elements to peace. So I think so Dr. Wasif has thrown very good light on the different aspects. Professor Glenn T. Martin on the day one has talked elaborately upon what is peace, what are the components of peace, and the peace strategies and things. Tomorrow again we have a session in which Professor P.K. Dashura sir would again be talking about certain moral, ethical, human values that are associated with peace. So when we talk of the elements of peace, this is very important, that non-violence is one of the important aspects of peace building. The love for truth that prevails is the underlying factor for peace. The principles of goodness the links and the information that are being shared. And then justice and social planning is another important thing. That is the basic element of peace, and the wisdom of great leaders. So with these two important aspects in hand, on one side, we have the leadership qualities, the leadership traits, the leadership skills that one should be bestowed with. And if the person is not a blessed one, it is very well known to all the educationists and people around the world that leaders are not born, they're exceptions. But leadership is a quality that can be developed, that can be worked upon, and people can come out to be good leaders. And this is the basic reason that we are pondering all these days on how to develop that kind of a leadership that will pave the way for bringing about peace and education. So very important to this bridging of the gap is education. So education at the very crux of the existence will ensure that how things will be diffused, how things will move among the public. So it can be a formal educational setup, as we have our schools and colleges. It can be through non-formal education, or it can be through informal education that a child learns from the time of his existence. And that theory that we all have come across, nature and nurture, that is very important. There are certain traits, there are certain qualities with which a person is born, but nurturance and the development of qualities is very important. So education at all these fronts, whether it is a formal education, whether it is a non-formal education, or whether it is informal, that the person keeps on learning throughout his life, plays an important role. And here the environmental factors are very important, that have to be thought about, that have to be taken up not only by the family, the society, the school, the colleges, the universities, but also at the governance level. We have to think about not only governance at India level, we are talking about global peace. So things to be in a better state, things to be in a better platform, it has to come from top. So the peacekeeping agencies, the organizations that are working hard towards it, we need to be in collaboration with them so that we can come out with workable strategies. And as I already asked the participants of the attendees of today's webinar, that we would be very happy if you could come up with your questions, your reflections, your responses, your feedbacks, because theoretically we may come across many things. The net is full of theories, the subjective knowledge, the empirical aspects, but it is very important that once we have come face to face on this virtual platform, we need to discuss, deliberate, and come out with workable solutions that would really pave way in policy formulations, help us in coming out with good recommendations out of this international webinar. And then all these things go hand in hand with, as I already discussed, the vision. So the SDGs that were formulated, the Sustainable Development Goals that were conceived to be attained by 2030, they too have this component of peace building in them. And this goal 16 of the SDGs, that is very pertinent when we talk in terms of peace building. So peace, justice, and strong institutions. So all these three are the important pillars on which we can think of having a better world tomorrow, a better leadership, through which all these ideas that we are discussing, deliberating upon, can be achieved in practical ways. Over to you. I think so. Our coordinator of the session, today's session, Dr. Bobby Mahanta, ma'am, she has joined. Welcome you, ma'am.